Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy JB with All the Flavor Barbecue, back again with another video. In today's video, I'm gonna show y'all how to grill up some tender, juicy ribeye steaks. Let's get to it. There's really not a whole lot to getting a tender, juicy steak, but you gotta watch the steps that you take, okay? One step that you need to take is how you prepare your steaks, okay? So what I'm going to start out doing is I personally like to kind of poke some holes in it, kind of tenderize it with a fork, okay? That way the stuff that I'm getting ready to put on it will get all the way down into the meat. And that's going to lead into another part of the prep of your steak, okay? All right, first thing that I like to do is I like to put some olive oil on it. Not too much, all right, because it's already making its own juices. This is strictly for the grill, okay, so that it won't stick to the grill. Next thing I like to put on it is some Worcestershire sauce. And you can put whatever you want on it. You don't have to put anything on it. And when I do this step, I like to let them sit for a few minutes, maybe about three to 4 minutes. As you can see, there's several things to choose from back here. Some of my favorites, some of my go-tos when I do stuff. But today I'm going to use my own seasoning blend, my own all-purpose seasoning, and I'll leave the ingredients down in the description. And you can also just use regular kosher salt and black pepper. Some people just use kosher salt. You can do what you want to these steaks, but the prep is very important in how you prep it. Now the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna put some saran wrap over these and I'm gonna stick them in the fridge until we get ready to take them out there to the grill. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap them up with some saran wrap and put them in the refrigerator. One of the most important steps in this process is, so we've already wrapped the steaks up and I put them in the refrigerator for about 20-30 minutes, all right? Now you have to take them out and let them come up to temperature, okay? Not necessarily room temperature like everybody says, but you have to let them kind of warm up, okay? And I'm telling you, that makes all the difference in the world to making a tender and juicy cut of steak. All right, y'all, we got the chimney started off fired up with some good old B&B hickory lump charcoal right here. Okay. All right, y'all, now this lump charcoal is heated up and ready to go. Let's just get it all in there. All right, y'all, we're gonna get these steaks on here. I'm gonna scan the surface temperature with my ThermoPro pen right here. I love this thing. Let's scan it and see what we got. We're right at about hovering between 680 and 700. That's hot enough for me. You need to cook these steaks according to your taste. And what I mean by that, if you want it rare, medium, medium well, or well done. I personally don't believe in well done steaks at all. So I like to cook mine somewhere in between medium rare and medium. So I'll typically leave my steaks on the grill about 3 to 4 minutes each side, okay? That's the thing, you gotta let them cook. So let's go ahead and start putting these steaks on here. And that's what you wanna hear right there. And good old sizzle. So I'm just monitor these steaks, and in about 3 or 4 minutes, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna see how they are, and I'm gonna flip them, okay? All right, y'all, so it's been about 3 minutes on each side of these steaks. So what I'm looking for personally is a temperature between 135 and 140 before I take them off. So let's see where we are. Not even close. We're looking at 112, all across the board, 114 all across the board. So we still got a ways to go, okay? And just depending on the thickness, you know, you might have to let them cook a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and flip these steaks over. Oh, that's looking great. Oh, that's looking lovely right there. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this one over here. So that seems to be the hot zone. Yeah, let's go ahead and get another temp on these steaks. All right, let's see where we are. Yes, sir, that one's ready. That one's ready. That one's ready. They are temping about 135, 140. Now that's exactly where I want to be, in between 135 and 140. So it's time for these steaks to come on. Look at this one, man. Oh my goodness. That's mine right there. That's mine, y'all. Yes, sir. All right, yeah. Now, before we take these steaks in, okay, this is the most critical part in the process. When you take these steaks off of that grill and they're piping hot and they've got up to temperature, you have to take them off and let them rest. Let them rest for a minimum of about 5 to 10 minutes. That's with any cut of meat. That gives the meat enough time to redistribute the juices that's in it, okay? As you can see, there's plenty of juice in these steaks, man, but I'm gonna let them rest, okay? So that's the most important part. Take your steaks off and let them rest. Look at all that juicy collected down in there. That's why you have to let it rest. This one, yes. We'll cut right here in the middle so we can see how we did. Okay. Kind of just how I like it, okay? Perfect medium right there. Y'all see that? That's great, right? All right, y'all. So if there's one thing we learned from this video is that, you know, sometimes you might have to let your steak cook just a little bit longer. Just depends on how thick it is, okay? So those steaks took about 4.5 minutes each side, okay? But that's perfectly okay. You can't rush it, all right? So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. And if you follow these steps that I put in this video, you too can have a juicy, tender steak just like that one. Once again, this is JB with All the Flavor Barbecue saying y'all be easy, peace, be safe.